Everybody, thank you so much for joining us here for this amazing moment of honoring one of our favorite people ever.
Out of Denver.
Right,
Colorado.
out of Denver. Listen, this is an American treasure. She's a cinematic icon, a 5-decade brilliant career that transcends.
I'm older than all of you. My career is older than all of you. East High, good skin, Colorado.
Yeah, that transcends any type of thing, not only just in film. This is an American cultural icon. Please join me in giving it up for the amazing Pam Grier.
I am.
Come on.
Wow. Thank you.
That's a while.
Wow, you should tell my mom that.
She gave me a few questions to bring up.
No, she didn't. You wouldn't be able to say it in here. Okay?
So
I created those words back in my day.
So one thing that we talked about that was fun is it's actually been 12 years since we last had an interview together at Boulder CU
Film Festival.
At the film festival there. And my opening question to you was about how much I love it. You were started off at one point as a backup singer with Bobby Womack.
Yes.
And how much I loved Longtime Woman.
Yes.
And you didn't believe me that I loved it, by the way.
Right.
And I think after I started singing it a bit, you joined me.
I sang through my nose because I was so scared.
But at the time I asked you 12 years ago, did you consider at the time furthering a career in singing? And then you told me about your experience on the L Word and singing there, and that there may have been a CD in the works, and you told me to check in with you later. So 12 years later, where are we at with that CD?
It's hidden in the mattress. That's where I hide everything, my money and my shoes. You know how husband, I didn't buy anything today. It's under the mattress. So anyway, I sing a lot, and I did write a couple of songs for the L Word for the baby, Jennifer Beals' little girl. So, and it plays, I wrote like a lullaby. And I sang in a church in Denver called who was in it was Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Gospels of Youth. And we would tour when the Watts riot broke out. We were stuck in a hotel and in the bus. But I like singing, but I didn't want it to be a career because I wanted to join a band. You know, my first gig in Los Angeles was singing backup for Bobby Womack. And I was a starving student living in a garage. And he felt sorry for me. And he said, okay, you're going to get $300 for an hour. And he said, that's double. And I have a friend that needs more singers. I said, okay, who's your friend? Because I literally got off the boat or the Jeep from Colorado. And the sheriff stopped me because I had a big fro and said, is this legal? It's from Colorado. It's got buckshot in it. There's no floor, no doors, no windshield. That's how we live and roll in Colorado. And I had on my Sears $9.99 Timberland, my 501 Levi's, and a flannel shirt, and my Angela Davis afro wig. You know they're going to shoot me. But I started singing, you know. So he said, yeah, here's his name, and he's looking for background singers, and just go right on over there. It's the CBS Record Studios. I'm going, like I know where it is. I get there, they won't even let me park my Jeep on the parking lot because it's bent, it's raggedy, it's rusted. I said, I'm a college student, I'm poor. This is Goodwill. He said, yeah, you are okay. Go take this up to the numbers floor there. So I take it up, and the guy says, hey, okay, I'm signing you in, and have you ever sung with Wonder Love? Stevie Wonder's background singers? Yeah, every day I sing with them. Yeah, look at me. Do I look like I'm a singer? And he said, well, this is Denise Williams, Sarita Wright, and Minnie Riperton. I said, no, I've never heard of him. I had not. Well, you're going to be singing for Sylvester Stewart. Where have I heard that name? I worked at a record shop. It sounds familiar. I feel like Beetlejuice. And you know what? I think, he said, you want to meet him? I said, sure. I said, I play gospel, I play jazz, I play organ, piano, band, drums and guitar, and piano and drum. And so we walk over to the window, and there's Sly of the Family Stone in chamois, a big fro with a bass guitar, and I'm going, and my voice went, I forgot how to sing. he says, come on in. I'm going, okay. He says, hey, how you doing? How you doing, baby? How you doing? I said, I play instruments. I play organ, Hammond, whatever you want. I'm here, a college student, living in a garage, and I need tuition. That's the only reason why I'm here. He says, almost says, shut up and get out, because I'm like rattling on. And so I said, I'll play keyboards, whatever you want, but I really want to join your band. He said, I didn't look like it, but his cousins were in the band. They played brass, the horns, but most of the bands wanted all males. Three Dog Night, Buffalo Springfield, Led Zeppelin, Eagles. Everybody wanted men. I said, I won't shave. I just want to be in the band, make money. But anyway, he said, okay, I'll call you when we get ready. He was recording and writing on studio time. So I said, wow. He says, that's how rich and talented he was. He could just record on studio time. And I'll call you in when I get ready to have you do some harmony. Okay, go out there. And I'm sitting with Wonderlove. They're dressed to the nines. I look like I'm cleaning their cars. Hi, I sing. I play things. And they were like, okay, we're going to go. And he's going to call us. What do you say? Harmony, anything you want. And of course, there's many then. I'm going, oh, shit. I'll have to go higher than her. I'll get a hernia. Oh, my God. Okay. And they said, he'll call us. So he calls us in and we start singing. And it's so funky. It is so good. I'm going, oh, my God. This is genius talent in Hollywood. This is how they roll. I'm like, and I'm a poor starving student in Goodwill, and they're, I'm singing with them, making double scale, which is going to be $600, the most I've ever made in a month. And so he says, okay, I'm through with you guys. Go sit down. I'm going to cut this, and then I'll call you in again. So we go back to sleep, literally on a sofa. And about 2 hours later, the elevators open at the end of the hallway, and the lights shine on these three figures, and they start walking in. And I smell patchouli oil that everyone wore to disguise the, smell of weed. And I'm looking, and they get closer, and they start walking by me. And in the middle is a tall guy in a black hat with long hair, dressed in black, and the other two guys on each side were blondes. It was Jimi Hendrix. Going to sing with Sly of the Family Stone in my ass. And it says, everybody in the building was coming down the hallways, the exits, the elevators, and peeking in the window to see, it's Jimi Hendrix, it's Jimi Hendrix. They're gonna jam, they're gonna jam. I want the tapes. Where are the tapes? Where are the tapes?
From the last time we
And they started, hey, how you doing, man? How you doing? They started, come on, man. And Buddy Miles was on the drums in the corner. Band of Gypsies was forming. I was just too through. It gives me the chills just talking about it.
Right?
Because I said, do I get to join? I can play Hammond B3, I can play gospel jazz, whatever you want to play. I can play foot pedal, on the Hammond B3. And he's just, calm down. Okay, calm down. So they started jamming. And it was so incredibly talented. I just said, wow, I get to sing with this. And then finally, they started bringing out the salad bowl of flour and said, well, we're going to work tonight, so we're going to send y'all home. And I said, can I? They looked at me, you too homely looking. And I knew what they were doing, but I'm kind of conservative way because I need to go to school, not to jail. And it was my precious moment of knowing what genius and how the universe hooks everyone up at the right time.
Sure.
So that was a real wonderful moment.
Well, and I love how you just mentioned the part too about wanting only just male singers with these groups, because this would not be the first time you've infiltrated male spaces, as we'll get to later on over here. But I want to bring up your grandfather for a moment, because I know that's from his time with the band and learning to play the drums, the Polynesian band.
My grandfather made my grandmother crazy in China Woman because he played with a Polynesian band and them girls shaking them hulas in front of him all the time. And he never cheated. He just watched the hips. That's all you have to do. just watch them hips, and everything. And so he played bass and guitar, and that's how I learned how to play a lot of instruments, was what he had in the basement.
But the thing that always struck me too when we had our first conversation was your obvious love for your grandfather, but also the fact that he mentioned, or that you mentioned at the time, that he was the first real feminist
Yes.
you ever met.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that and how that influenced how you would then begin your career in film.
My granddad said to all the girls, I want to teach all the girls to be self-efficient. Bring the boat in. Change the spark plugs. Fix a tire. I don't want you to ever be a victim of society, which he knew, which is prevalent in a society that was very conservative and very rigid for women. We weren't taking the jobs away from men. We weren't trying to be masculine. It's just there's a masculine energy and there's a feminine energy. And sometimes when women have cramps and cook dinner and plow the field, I don't know how any man can beat that. Okay? And she got cramps too. And the man got to deal with that. That's why he stays in the barn. That's why the sofa, there they go. Cramps. I can soften it. Pancakes on Sunday. I like whipped cream on my cereal.
Well, and when we talk about you as a feminist...
Okay, now I can cut loose.
Now it's loose.
All right, we're going to talk about to cut loose. Now I can. How I got the John Carpenter movie, because
Yes.
they're going to get mad at me if I don't tell them. John Carpenter, who we all love, and paid me so well. I would never have to worry. I didn't have to ask it anything. I said, I'll pay you. I just can't. I love your mind. Escape from L.A., Escape from New York, Snake Plissken. Pam, what, John? I would like for you to play a man who turns into a woman. Is there a shortcut? I'm already a woman. What do I have to do? He says, I want you to come in, and I want you to say hi to Kurt. We're getting ready to I think you can do it, Pam. You can do a great job. It'll be a stretch for you. Is this a double D kind of moment? What's happening? So I fly in to meet him. I said, oh, my God. John Carpenter. Okay, Hershey Las Palmas. I said, okay, I got to let my hair start growing in my armpit. I got to let my hair grow on my legs like a man. But look like Pam. Okay, I'm looking like Pam. I drive up, and I see the crew members packing up to shoot in Rio Rancho. And Los Angeles, and they're shooting everywhere, and they're packing up. And I said, but look at these guys. They got bulges and muscles, and I don't have any of that. I'm going to look like Pam. I got to look like a man and Pam. Okay, so I put a sock in my leggings, and it flattened out. If I walk in there with a flat dick, okay, Pam, go back to the pavilions. It's right over there. Turn a U-turn, park in there. Okay, go to the vegetable department. What looks like? Okay, okay, we have cucumber, zucchini, squash. Okay, and so I walk up and I'm going, okay, curve, straight, and the people are looking at me going, so what do you think? Cheryl, what do you think? 7-inch, 8-inch? That's 3 feet. I want to not limp into the office. I'd like to strut into an office like a homeboy. So I go for, okay, let's go for a zucchini. I think I can, won't slip or flatten out. So everyone's looking at me, and you know the detectives are looking for it. This woman's crazy. Let's see, they're betting on which one and how long I'm going to go with. So I find the right zucchini, and I take out the sock, and I put the zucchini in my pants, and I go, okay, that feels right. Okay, and so I pull up to John's office on Warner Brothers. At the gate, everyone saw me. And get out, and it hasn't slipped to my ankles. And so I go, okay, this is gonna work. And so I walk over, trying to hold the zucchini in to see. And everyone's looking at me, and I'm going, okay, all right, I gotta do this. Hey, what's up, motherfucker? Hey, how you doing? Hey, all right, what we got over here? So, hey, I'm going to meet John Carpenter. Is he in? And they're looking at me and they go, and the crew members say, God, that guy really looks like Pam Grier. What it is? How you doing? How you doing, bro? Yeah, I'm here, Yeah, I'm going to meet John Carpenter. Even sound like Pam Grier. I go up to his office. I know, it's just... John opens the door. Pam, I didn't know men, but the first thing you look at is, you men check each other's Johnson out. As soon as he opened the door, he started laughing so hard, he started coughing. I had given him a heart attack. And he's, I said, John, am I embarrassing you? I thought I looked silly and stupid. He was laughing at my zucchini. And he was laughing. Kurt, come here, Kurt. Come look at this. Come look at this. Yeah, Kurt, how you doing? Kurt, how you doing? Kurt starts laughing. I don't know which one farted. I said, am I in? Should I fart too? That's what you men do. How you doing? How you doing? It was the greatest experience to be. John said, you got the part.
I promised you all, by the way, this would be the best panel that we've ever had here at COFO.
And I had to do it or stand up, the zucchini man, hey. And I tell all my actresses, don't be afraid to put a zucchini in your pants. You'll get the role. Just not socks, they'll flatten out.
That's right, it's for the young ones out there, coming up.
What, are you crying? Well, if you ever want to cosplay with your husband, at night when it gets a little, hey, honey, hey, let me tell you, a couple of times I came home and boyfriend, I said, who's been wearing my shoes? My shoes have been stretched. I won't say who did it, but I said, okay, but do I get to take pictures of you in my shoes? Are you wearing my bra and panties too? I just need to know. So anyway, you testifying. Help me out here. I got a boyfriend. I'm a girlfriend now. I got to know when I got to wear some, some boxers or something. Because I'm a butt sister. There ain't going to be a flat. This going to be like, when the football players, hey, so y'all, you coaching me on dating. I've learned something here tonight. See y'all at the bar. Okay.
So Pam, when talking about infiltrating these spaces too, one thing you told me
female
that was
energy,
amazing.
male energy.
That was amazing. That I loved when you said it.
But that's acting.
Yeah.
I got a fantastic job from an incredible director at a major studio because of zucchini.
But you also told me too, when you were starting to make this early independent, black cinema that was so vital and important to the culture at the time, you mentioned to me, when kind of like off camera too, that whenever it was like Jim Brown or Fred Williamson doing these type of ass-kicking, action, empowering, full of agency films that were so popular at the time, that no one called it exploitation until a woman started to do it.
Exactly.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yes, when a woman walked in a man's shoes with breasts.
Yeah, then suddenly this is exploitative.
And Jim and Fred and all of them made like 7 or 8 films, and they could beat each other up and walk around naked and have women walk around naked. I said, can I have men walk around naked on my sets? Can I do that too? Let's be fair here. Right, and then it took me probably about 5 years, 4 or 5 movies to prepare a very masculine, demonstrative, patriotic audience to see a woman in martial arts.
That's right.
And win, which wasn't easy because you can't choreograph every movement, every spar, every fall. And when I did, because I learned martial arts on the Air Force Base when I kept getting beaten up as a little girl and as a 7-year-old, and I was considered developmental, not special needs, just developmental, because I didn't talk for about 4 years because I had a concussion from being hit in the head. And so they taught me how to protect myself. So I was always tripping somebody. If somebody walked down the hallway, it's like, Pammy, and I take off running. But I learned martial arts, and I brought it to film. But I had a long time, why are you trying to be like a man? No, I just want to protect myself, so that I'm not, because, bullies look for vulnerable people. And I couldn't talk. And I wouldn't talk. And I was skinny, and I had a sweet face. And those are whom bullies pick on until they ran into me. And I could even short sheet them. I could trip them. But I learned how to survive a very masculine world and be one of them, a vato, be a homie, and say, I understand what you go through, but let me show you a few moves. And I was that feminine energy that you see. Wing Chun? Did you ever see the Jackie Chan movies, Bride with White Hair and Drunken Master 1 and 2? It was created by a woman. It's a female invented those Wing Chuns. And Michelle Yeoh was a ballerina. And they couldn't find a female martial artist in China, so she loved it so much. And her kick was up here. And then I said, well, I can get to here, and by then my leather pants will split. But I'm going to try. So October 10th, I'm being awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by Black Belt Magazine for bringing martial arts to film, to expand roles for women and allow men to feel comfortable with the female energy, know that they're women. The man may not be home or didn't come home from Vietnam or he didn't have his limbs, and knowing that the wife can at least throw a skillet, but at least be able to defend herself because now she's the provider of the family. Not to take a role. I love the door to be open for me, okay? I love being a girlfriend and knowing that men are hunter-gatherers. They like to fix things. They like to ask you, what can I do? What can I, there's things that men do, and I want them to continue doing it. And when a man has great masculine energy, it makes me more feminine and sexy and wild and crazy. So with that said, but that's true. All you happily married couples and partners, you figured it out. I've been working taking care of special needs family, adopting and fostering, using the money that's been given, John Carpenter, all of them give to me all the time, to have a therapeutic writing program, and I don't charge for writing. It's free. It's free. Hundreds, if not thousands, of children and families. Whenever I come home, and I drove a Subaru. And I said, our kids grow. I can't drive in a little Outback. We need a Outback on steroids because our kids grow, and my nieces and nephews. And so I also require the moms and the dads to ride, learn how to ride, and partner up with horses as well, so they can have a conversation with their child and other children on their accomplishments and what they discover. Because that's why that child feels so lonely, because they can't play sports. No one finds them as pretty or cute. I got to change an insulin bag. I got to give them insulin. I got to change a colostomy bag. I got to make sure the pants are soiled. Got changed pants. She's going in to ride. Make sure the kids get a chance to compete and get scholarships. They offer scholarships in universities across the country for different able children. Free. 4 years. They got the horses. Just show up and act like you love animals. And you will get a scholarship. I didn't know that. There's so many people and kids are so underserved. So every opportunity I get to teach and create employment and opportunities, that's something that I've always wanted to do because I didn't have those. And I know what it's like to ride my bike in the snow to school and work 5 jobs. And everyone says, poor Pammy, she's so smart, but she's so poor. But no, I have spiritual wealth from learning from all of you, teaching me about what you do, what you know, what you like. And you're here so I can thank you for supporting our film industry through a 3-year pandemic where no one worked.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And the strike, a 4th year, where people have lost their homes. I paid mortgages this year and last year for people. I fed herds of goats. I bought firewood. I let people park their trailers on my property and hook up to my 18 hydrants of water because the work is gone. And now they all have to go back to California or Georgia or up to North Carolina. And now some of the incentive that New Mexico had has gone up to Oregon and Portland and Oklahoma. So everyone can make films and not forget how important our stories are. We got a lot of great stories to tell, especially with zucchinis and vegetables and children that can't hear, about body functions, stuff like that.
I'm still waiting for that Mary Wells film that we were hoping you'd get made.
We'll get them. We got Village Roadshow, who did the film Analyze This and Analyze That. They're doing my life story. Gave me a 5-year deal.
Yep, and that's with Little Marvin.
Little Marvin, who is the writer and director and producer of Them the Scare. I love horror, and I get to play a woman who is because when he saw me, he said, Pam, you're so young. You're supposed to play a grandmother. And I said, and? So I'm a hot one, but she's arthritic, and she's going to be, I don't want to spoil it for you, at the end of the series, I'll let you see it, and I'll have you curse the film and write him letters and curse him. But if you saw Cinnamon, which is being produced by Tubi and paid for by advertising, I play a different abled adult, and I'm partially blind. And I figured out how to not walk, because I know how I stutter too from my concussion and my trauma. That's why my horses help me to speak and to think and to not be afraid and be confident. I got a PhD from Langston University in agriculture because we need water making machines in our homes so we don't tax the farmers from their water to grow food. Boom, here comes offers, right? I realized that invention, the necessity of demand is invention, and that everywhere I go, there's people that are saying, Pam, you keep reminding us of what we need to do and not forget and take for granted. And so with everything that I've learned, the business has given me so much. I wanted to share with you and thank you, because we live in a great land of abundance. We're learning so much about ourselves every day. We can laugh at ourselves. I'd rather hear laughter than depression. And that's why I wanted my kids, okay, I'm going to change some undies. Mom, you got some extra Depends? I'm going to put them on these kids because they got shows and scholarships. And they're going to ride. And I have to carry them off because they can't walk stairs or ride a bike. But I want them to be able to compete like hell. And when I take them to shows, they have to remember the 9 jumps. And I teach them songs, and they get scholarships. One girl, she speaks Japanese, for the United Nations. And that's all. And she can't walk or ride a bike, but she got a scholarship because someone said, hey, is that what you want to do? Do I have to go to Japan with you? Because your mama ain't going to go. And she said, no, Auntie Pam, I can do it. And she thanks me and calls me every day saying, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have had the opportunity. And so I wish I'd had the opportunities. And I know all of us are sitting here thinking, what are the opportunities we missed out on? You know, and we don't get that back. So we know. And so when you buy a movie ticket or you come here and you get my picture and I get to see you, I'm on your wall when you're having sex.
How did you know, by the way?
And Quentin Tarantino has Pam's Coffee in Los Angeles. And there I am on this 8x10 poster on the wall that is bolted to the walls. They ain't stealing that. They stole from Voodoo, but they ain't stealing it. And here I am in a bra. That's 50 years ago. I was ahead of my time. The coffee poster.
Yeah,
that's right.
You
know, the yellow hip huggers and the bra. 50 years ago, who would think that they're wearing that today to go to the gym, go to dinner? Everybody's showing their stomach. It's like, I invented that? Quentin said, yeah.
Yeah, you've been a groundbreaker in so many ways.
Wait a minute, I didn't create the thong.
Maybe that one,
That thing hurts.
Let me ask you about horror, specifically because of where we're at. I know you love it personally, but I mean, from your early foundational work with Scream, Blackula Scream, which I watch religiously every Christmas, by the way. It's a tradition for Christmas. Every time.
I love vampires. Are you kidding me? You know, I always check someone's, closet and drawer to see if they have necklaces with garlic and a steak and a hammer or something like that. I love it.
Wait, what do you love so much about horror?
Well, when Lil Marvin said, Pam, you look so young. I said, I know I ain't gonna get the role, but I have to really stretch and you have to scare me. I'll stop drinking just so you can scare me. But it's a vulnerability to play scared. 'Cause my horses are honest. They're the most honest animals, not a false move in them. They ain't scared, but when they do get scared, get the fuck out. So to have that instinct, and I really worked at being frightened and scared. And in Cinnamon, I'm different abled. I can't see. I'm angry. I'm a killer. I'm a gangster who has a walker. And trust me, that a lot of the kids that I've worked with and their families, they're not happy and smiley. There's anger, breaks families, bankrupts families, some of their challenges that they can't compete and have what we have. And I see it and I hear it. And it helps me to understand my vulnerability as an actor. Can I do it? I said, Marvin, if I don't look scared, fire me, okay? I want to give you what you need to show that your writing shows something very scary, that I can be afraid. And I don't want to tell you what it is because you're going to throw up. Shh. But I really enjoyed doing that, and I hope to be a part of that genre of horror. It's excellent. It's hard to do. It's not the easiest emotion, fear, and actors who, I've had actors say, I'm not going to die. I'll never die in a movie. You can't hurt me. I'm not going to bleed. Okay. Are they actors? I'm not going to judge. But it's the craft that's so demanding. And out there is just genius. It's incredible. The blood, the fingers in the tray with salad, it's great. To see that, to scare, it's a genre that I feel it in my body. If I'm scared, people are going to pee. Come on.
Were you a little scared to take on Them, however? How many have seen Them, by the way? Fantastic.
And the ending of it.
Come on.
And the ending of it. They said, are you okay with the ending? I said, did the check clear?
Always.
That's all that matters. But I knew I had done nothing but theater for 4 years at Equity Lawyer, $300 a week for 4 years, because I wanted to know, am I an actor or am I a celebrity? and I realized I was an actor. For $300 a week, you know.
Anyone that's seen your body of
hard.
work knows.
It's hard because they allure you with money, and if you make $35 million a movie and it makes only 18, it bombs. Well, you don't fill the bank, and now they can't make more movies. And now movies aren't being made because of people taking way too much. Yeah, you know. But one of my dearest friend, George Clooney, he wrote Boys in the Boat about crewing, and it cost $40 million, and it didn't do well. He gave the studio back his directorial fee. So now they can make more money, more films with that money that he gave back. Most actors won't do that. They'll take the money and keep asking and keep begging and keep ripping off the industry and taking your money, and now there's no movies being made. And it was a $6 billion industry, now it's a $2 billion. But I'm gonna sneak in there and do some Coffee and Foxy Brown and Shivas.
That's right. And the adaptation of Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts.
Yes.
That's where who's gonna play you? Can you break it here?
Yes, as long as they don't commit any scandals and shoot baby daddies, we're good.
Okay, this is an exclusive, Coco.
Because we can't have them after we establish them. This is technical but artistic that you should be aware of. If you're established on camera and you go home on the weekend, don't brawl and pull guns on people in the weekend. And if you do and it shuts down the film, 150, 300 people lose their jobs. In my deal, you will pay for that insurance policy, $1 million, 4 week, 1 week, whatever, for a $20 million. You shut it down, you're gonna pay for it. We used to pay for it. And they go out, they beat each other up, have motorcycle accidents, shoot babies' daddies in the ass. Stop it. I said, it ain't gonna happen. And I sent the letters out to the actors and actresses that I want to be a part of this. We can't do this anymore. You have to be responsible. Wait until we finish, and then you can cut up. I can stop you because the money's not sitting on a table.
Right. I can imagine there's someone being brave enough to want to take on that role, quite honestly.
No, take on me.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
No, because I come from Roger Corman, where budgets were tight, and we made a Big Doll House budget, $125,000. Rolling Stone, it made $10 million because of my wild ass. But now everyone understands the cutting edge, and we can be so lucky because people were starved to see a woman fighting in rice paddies, you know, like the mud, wet shirt, t-shirt type of thing happening in the... So
who's gonna play you?
There's several Pammies. There's gonna be a couple little Pammies that walk on underneath my grandfather's horse, draft horse in Wyoming. There's going to be some Pammies in college, Pammies up to Pam when she meets Quentin Tarantino. And Quentin, I hope he's got children now. And you know what kids gonna do to your ass. I said, can we do your scene before they take you out? It's just meeting you on the street, okay? When you go, help Pam, I'm writing a movie for you. And I said, sure you are, sure. I want him in it, or I can find the greatest impersonator, but he'll want to do, I know he'll want to do it, you know, so. My journey is with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's going to be at the award ceremony. And there's going to be, the late Freddie Prinze is not going to be there, of course, but he was very important in my life because he was very machismo. He said, you're going to, I said, no, I ain't going to take away your job. You can open that door anytime you want. Wash the car, go get the gas, whatever. And then Richard Pryor, who thought I was funnier than he was. I said, yes, I am. And I think, I'm not going to say, but if the shoe fit.
There you go.
But I learned.
I was going to whisper his name. I knew that was him.
But I learned how to walk like a brother. I learned from men. I learned how to play a man and get a good job. That's acting. So I applied myself. And then when I did the L Word, You know, with a couple of the actresses were gay, and gay themed. Gloria Steinem is not gay, but she played Jennifer Beals' mom. Ossie Davis played my dad. We had Snoop Dogg in the show. We had Alan Cumming, and a lot of people. I wanted to bring a comfort zone to the culture, and everyone said, "Pam, did you become gay because you're around gay women?" No. How do you do that? Was I supposed to? Is there a book? I don't understand lipstick, leather, studs. What was the other one? There's another one. There's all these terms. I'm going, that's a lot of homework. That's all I can tell you. And I said, no, I think you could be born, and that's it. That's your journey. We can't control the X and Y chromosomes that we're born with. So I just brought my horses up and trained them to the jumps in an arena and go there after work and work with my horses for the girls. And they became my family. All of the girls, we stay in touch. And I could have gay children and love them just as much. I learned so much from them. And I said, all I can say is, if y'all make me lose my job by getting high on the weekend, you're gonna have to deal with me. Because I'm up here in Canada with all these horses in my horse trailer. It was an opportunity to learn about another community that I was told and not to believe in them, that they were monsters and they weren't human. And I said, they're way more than human. I'm learning something. I feel good about what I've learned. And I will protect and treasure every one of these cast members. You know, so, and there was fear in a certain culture. There was just stupidity until they had their own gay child.
Right, yeah.
And then they came back differently. Years later, well, Pam, you know, we learned from the L Word. I sent you the box set so you could. But those are the wonderful experiences from the entertainment world.
Right.
That I'm always a student. I always want to be a student. I always want to learn and walk in someone else's shoes, even if it's a double D. And by the way, it's not a double D. It was padded in a zucchini. That's the only way I learned how to land that job, honey. I'm gonna land that job.
Well, we know your most important role is actually that of Auntie and all the amazing work that you do. We want to thank you seriously for all of the work you've done outside the industry that's so fundamental. All the lives
part of living,
you've touched
isn't it?
and changed.
Experiences. Yeah. You know, and dealing with kids, and I would have loved to have, I had cancer, so I didn't have children, but all of these kids were my kids. Everyone had a medical problem, urinary tract, no organs, and they wanted to ride a horse and act like, you know, they could compete with everyone else, and they could ride like the wind. And it would just make me feel so good to see these children, because I took my horses up to Canada to train them and scared everybody. But I needed to do that because the horses needed to be trained to take care of the children. And I said, if something happens to me, they're not going to have this. And I wanted to make sure I was able to share with them.
Well, we love and appreciate you for that, for everything you've done to shape the culture in the way you have, to have been the role model that you are for so many people and inspiring so many of our great up-and-coming feminist actresses.
I try and say, learn martial arts, please.
and for your martial arts representation.
Can you throw somebody over your back? Okay, and by the way, they get the martial arts mixed up and confused. No, there's Chinese, that's Bruce Lee, that's Jackie Chan, Qigong, White Tiger, Kung Fu. Then there's Japanese, Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu. There's different forms. There's Taekwondo, there's Korean. And then there's this, and there's that, and there's Capoeira. I said it's not, and they would get it mixed up all the time and go, stupid. It's different. But it was lazy, don't be lazy. But what I learned is with Steven Seagal, and there was one movie that I did learn Aikido, and it was just wonderful. And I love Steven. I actually got to teach him how to run.
It's about time someone did that.
You know, see?
There were more of that in his films.
See? The crew member was laughing at him. And I said, you're my hero, don't run like a girl. Run like a brother from Detroit. Steve Seagal of Detroit. Run like you stole a TV. Run.
Pam, would you be open as we close to some questions from our audience?
Yes.
Because I know
they got some
I know
juicy
that there were
ones.
some in the hallway that I know had some questions for you right here.
Uh-oh, you're going to be heard now.
That's all right. I'm used to being heard. We talked at your table about your work with American International Pictures. That's what our podcast is about. So can you tell us a little bit about working for that studio?
That was my second job during the day. And my first job was with APA, and they handled Goldie Hawn, and they handled the Laugh-In, Isaac Hayes, Richard Roundtree, and I was at the reception as my first job. And then AIP, I was a student, and it's like, this is your second job? I said, yeah, I'm here. And I want to be a filmmaker. I want to go to UCLA, and I got to work all these jobs because it's expensive out in Los Angeles. And they were saying, well, Pam, you know, I looked like I was so poor. And they were saying, well, wow, you've traveled all over the world and you speak languages. You're really smart. You're taking all this. And I said, yeah, and you know, I know more. I'm from Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm a farmer. You're not urban? No, I have military, urban, and rural. And I think I can bring it to films, but they said, can you read? Yeah, I'm a student. No, read a script. No, I haven't seen a script before. I said, okay, that's good, because then you're not spoiled. And so they just liked my naturalness. I was an uncut diamond, that rawness. They had never seen Timberland boots on before. And flat, and they just said, who are you, you know? And so I brought a naturalness to what they had been doing and stagnating in. They hadn't seen another type of woman, and a woman of mixed race colors. And they was like, wow, let's think of something. And so they got back to me there, and at night I was a DJ at a sports club. And the owner would say, Pam, get everybody to dance a lot so they'll drink more. And I did. And they would leave tips. That was my tuition. A tip jar filled with money, you know, and those athletes would put like $50 bills and $100 bills and $2 bills and all kinds of things in the jar. And I was like, I have tuition, but I'm not pretty. They always wanted really beautiful women and, you know, blue eyeshadow and stuff like that, and I couldn't afford that. And so I said, no, I need to get an education, get into filmmaking. And then the Agency for the Performing Arts heard that Roger Corman needs someone like you. You look like you're in prison. Oh, great. Great, thank you. Yeah, I will study that. And next thing you know, they walked me down to Roger Corman, and he had to talk to my mom. He thought I was an uncuffed, rough diamond. That's what made his movie successful, because I'd taken it out of the genre of tacky, you know, buxom blonde, not me, and just sheer. There was a part of movie making that when they threw a punch, they missed. And they didn't redo it and connect. They didn't look like real street fighters. So I always thought that was weak. I said, what can I do? And they said, show us how you would fight. And I would hit so fast. I said, can you slow it down? No, I'm going to kill this person. I can't slow their death down. I can't. My legs, you know, I'm going to defend myself. And I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to be an actress because I stuttered horribly. Not from fear, just from what was in my brain. And I said, I can work behind camera. I was resigned to not being an actor, you know, because I had a handicap. So when Roger Corman saw me, he just said, you're perfect. You're rough. You're not over-polished. You're not emulating anyone else. We don't have that. We want to see that. And with your afro You know, half the time it was blocking someone's POV, and they'd have to Pam, your afro's in the way. Can you push it down a little bit? Matter of fact, they stuck the mic in the top of my head once, and you never can wear an afro in the theater back in the 70s and 80s because the people behind you couldn't see, and you can start a fight. So I would always bring a scarf if I knew we were going to see a movie or something, because my fro was outstanding.
It was.
It's like
outstanding.
Megan the Stallion's. You know, hers is a weave. I couldn't afford $15,000 worth of Korean hair. That's way too much for me. I can't even today going, all right, I would rather use my horse's tail and cut it off and curl it and glue it together and stick it on the back of my head. But that's what, you know. So I started learning cultures, learning makeup, learning stuff. What am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to play a girly girl, you know, or you know, and fight in the mud with leeches and parasites and worms and stuff. You know, I feel like I need to be wormed once in a while, but not because I'm playing in it. So that's how I really started, and they felt I just brought an edge, which Quentin said, you brought an edge of reality. You know, sometimes an unnatural, not so trained, the training is great for theater, timing, comedy, discipline, but when you're doing films, you got to do research on your characters, what you're going to do. And sometimes that will allow you to see, do you have the courage to play humanity in a certain way? And a lot of people cannot play a stuttering actress who is disabled. And I think I achieved that in Cinnamon.
So Pam, very quickly, I was told that we have time for just one more super quick one and we're going to have a Q&A later after the film we're showing again later tonight. We're going to do this again.
Hey, drink.
You will be a little bit more socially lubricated at that point.
Absolutely. Loosen up here.
Yes, one last question.
Oh, she's from Canada.
I promised her I would get to her.
She came here to be a teacher.
There's no way I'm not.
She's already showed me her kicks to the head. A lot of students are going to go, I'm scared of you.
They're not. But thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Merci. Thank you very much. I read your bio. I loved it very much. And I always said that when I relocated to Colorado, I would definitely try to see if I can.
I did that. Did I
meet you
inspire
because of the horses?
To move to Colorado?
Well, my husband had a little bit something to do with it too.
Ooh,
and I have
tell
family.
us all about it, huh?
I was introduced.
I'm learning. I'm a girlfriend now.
But I really enjoyed your bio, and what stuck in my mind was you mentioned that Coffee, that movie. The character was loosely based on your mother. I have a very close relationship with my mom, and I wanted you to just walk me through how is that so, and your relationship with your mother.
Well, my mom calls me bitch, hussy, wench. No, Coffee was the nurse. And many times in not only the 70s and 80s, people didn't have insurance. There weren't urgency centers at all. And so everyone knew my mom was a nurse. Roseanne Barr lived around the corner. Tim Allen lived across the street. Sinbad lived over here. And many of our family members were nurses. You know, that's how we got by. Someone in your family could attend to you medically. And so my mom would wake me up, Pammy, oh, is that you, Mom? What? We got someone in the kitchen. I need you to help me, you know, wrap a wound. And someone else would be waiting with a broken arm that needs to be reset or something. So my mom in the middle of the night was always doing something for the community, you know. And it wasn't illegal. It's just there's no place for them to go. They'd bleed to death, a clot or die. And so that's why I wanted to be a pre-med. I wanted to be a physician to help people. And she would do that in the kitchen night after night, weekend after weekend. You know, they'd bring home the rolls of the tape that you wrap around the ankles and bandages and remember mercurochrome? Oh, that shit would clean you out. You'd be healed overnight on mercurochrome, you know, and Neosporin, huge vats of it, and Vaseline was one of the purest forms of a medicinal salve. And also, in the corner of the kitchen, was a pickle jar vat of like a cannabis mixture. that we used on our horses for poultices and for people had. And they didn't talk about it. It was the underground. But everyone had, before Vietnam, the herbs of sage, oregano, mint, and cannabis was a medicinal. You put on a rag, clean, wrap it on. It would fight bacteria. It was used on horses and people. And it was a part of the holistic, at the time, manner of curing when you couldn't afford the hospitals, doctors, and nurses. And that's what my mom did forever. And they would bring and leave for her on holidays like food, hams, turkeys, pies, and out of generation thanking her. You know, it was never money. And people were up walking, going to work, you know, talking about Mama G. And it made her feel good because she wanted to be a doctor, but women weren't allowed to be doctors then or to get into med school. So she took care of people her way, but so did everyone. Everyone was taking care of somebody back then. That was the civil rights one, was everyone really got together to enjoy each other's cultures, well, Pam, especially the weed.
Pam, let me just say one thing too. And yeah, the fact that you took this amazing character and insisted that we make a nurse a superhero badass. My daughter in the back room, who just became a nurse, coffee is very big in our household.
Oh, that's fantastic.
For that, but yes,
services. Great. We need nurses, teachers. We need the new generation to bring forth all that we've learned, all that we struggled with. And today's, look at the new inventions of everything. It's so progressive and holistic. We're eating better, we're living better. You see advertising of prescription drugs and everything on TV now, you know, to keep us up to what we can do. We don't have to suffer as much.
Right. Well, the fact that you made her a superhero, and a superhero, by the way, who's so badass
superhero?
that she knocked off, Coffee knocked off James Bond in 1973 from the top. As an action hero.
The Silverman Corporation said, Pammy, you're going to create a lot of enemies because your movies never leave the theater. People keep coming back and back and back, eating more and more popcorn. And I'm saying, is that a good thing? And he said, oh, yeah, for me, yeah. And so Coffee knocked off #1 position of James Bond. It's in the Rolling Stone magazine, and they said, did you know that? No. I didn't know that Roger Corman movie of $125,000 made $10 million. They don't tell me, they keep it. And they didn't tell me about Coffee. But I found out later that I had done something, and that also created the multiplex theater. So you could have a James Bond, a black film, a cartoon, a family Disney, a foreign film, you know, such as Ingrid Bergman. You could have all types in a multiplex. So I actually helped invent the multiplex theater.
Pam, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. We are so proud you're here.
Oh, thank you so much.
We adore you so much. Thank you.
I wanted to share those little nuggets with you.
And everyone, we are going to be showing Ghost of Mars, the Carpenter film, tonight at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then have a
Something
Q&A
about my
following.
head. Something about losing my head in horror movies.
So come back and see this amazing film.
I don't want to be a spoiler.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a spoiler. You lose your head in one movie, you're going to lose your head in all the movies. But
everyone,
they pay well.
Thank Pam Grier for being here. We so appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.